I have an idea. How about we build some giant candles? Now in some circles these are called buddy burners, but we're just going to make them really big. Alright, so I took these coffee cans, cut them down to the very first ripple. I'm just going to kind of get rid of some of these Sharpies along this thing. Now thinking about how this thing's going to operate, I think what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. And I'm going to put a centerpiece in here. Alright, now if you guys ever seen one of these buddy burners work, most of the time people don't build them this big. But the bigger ones that they do create, which is most likely something like this. This is a, I don't know, a fruit can. What they do is, as it burns, the flame always funnels towards the middle. So I think what I'm going to try doing here is I'm going to take this can, I'm going to cut it down to be in the same height as this, and we're going to rivet this can in the bottom, and then we'll put in our cardboard and then melt some wax. So I'll make two different ones. I'll make this one, and then I'll make this one. Alright, well, I got that cut and riveted in there. Now I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to eventually drill in maybe 4 little holes so air can come up through here through the center, because we're going to be putting in the cardboard around the rim here. If I don't have this, some type of airflow coming through the center, then the flames will just, I'm thinking what they'll probably do is come up and then curl in. Or maybe they'll curl out because the air will be coming in, or, you know, something like that. I don't know. I think it's going to get messed up. But I'm pretty sure I need to have air being able to come up through the center here. So, yeah, let's play around with that. Alright, well, I think that might be tight enough. Now, I gotta do the other one. But this one's gonna probably take a little bit longer because this is one big one. So this is gonna fill up. I'm gonna cut a bunch more pieces.
Well guys, we now moved operations into the kitchen. And it's gonna be a little echoey in here, so let me show you how I have it set up.
Okay, I have a pan of water that's going to be boiling here pretty quick. We went down to the Goodwill and bought ourselves a sacrificial pan, and I put it in my vise and hit it with my ball peen hammer and created a little lip to it so I can pour. And in here we're going to be putting in beeswax, little beads. Now I'll leave a link down in the description so you guys can know where I got this from. And from what I've heard, it's better to get this kind of beeswax instead of the big chunks, because as you put a big chunk in the pan, it's going to take forever for it to melt. So you have to cleave off pieces of the chunk and put a whole bunch of little pieces in there and get it, you know, it'll melt faster. So I decided to buy these little beads instead. And I bought 2 bags of them, this bag and the bag that's in there. So we'll be pouring some of that in here and then taking the pan and putting the pan in on the water. because we don't want direct flame on the bottom because it can burn, I guess, burn the wax to the pan. We don't want that. So let me set this up. Alright, so put this off to the side here. And gotta eyeball it a little bit, kind of guess how much I'm going to be putting in here after it melts, and then being able to pour it into candles. And we'll start with that. Now, when I put it in the water, I don't want it to tilt like this, so I'm going to use this cappuccino container and hold up water's pretty high in there after I put the pan in, so keep that in mind. Get it close up here. See how high the water is to the rim? So now we're going to sit here and I'm going to wait for this to melt all up. Then I'm going to bring it right over here where I have a pie tin with some aluminum foil just in case I spill. And we're going to pour it in here and then pour it around the rim. I don't know if I have enough to do this rim yet also, but we'll see. Yeah, might want to empty some water out there. Hold on a second. Okay, well, yeah, we're just going to have to wing it here. But, anyways, as I was saying, I have these in here, not totally tight, but tight enough to the point to where the wax hopefully will be able to go in between. Because if you have it too tight, then there's not enough wax and this thing will burn away too fast. If you have too much wax, then it doesn't burn very good. So it's kind of like a happy medium somewhere. And yeah, so when I get ready to, when this melts all up, I'll get ready to pour it. Alright guys, well, we got it all melted down. It took about 5 or 6 minutes and I had to hold it by hand because it was tilting and the bubbles were splashing out. So keep that in mind if you ever do something like this. But now comes the moment of truth. Time to pour. Alright, and I got the heat turned down a little bit, so let's get this done. You kind of want to pour slow so the wax soaks up into the tin or through the fibers of the and whatever spills out on the side here, I'll just throw it back in here. Yeah, I definitely have to clean this thing up when I get done with it. The wax, when I pour it, can't seep in fast enough and it starts to pour off the sides. So, well, this is definitely a messy job, so you got to make sure that you've got this all set up. Now, once we let that one sit, grab some more foil. I was hoping that I'd be able to do both on the same tin, but I don't want to do that. So we're going to move this one right here. Make sure it doesn't get all icky. Grab some more foil. Well, normally what I would do is I would take all this off and put it back in the pan and melt all that, and then put that melted amount in here. But this stuff is too hot and it's going to take too long, so I'm just going to grab some more beads. I think I should have made this pour spout a little bit steeper. It's dripping down and getting all over the place over here. Top this off, because you know how wax is when it dries, it shrinks. So it looked like it was well saturated, but now it's starting to dry and I can see the levels in between going down. So we kind of want that to be pretty well filled up in between the rolls. This one's still pretty warm. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it outside. It's cold outside, so yeah. Alright, this one turned out pretty decent. The experimental one. And I'm going to take this one outside so it cools off better. Yeah. Close-up shot of that. Like I said, I'm going to have to clean off the wax on the sides. Clean all that out, and then I'll be able to drill the holes. Yeah, this thing's still pretty warm. So yeah, so let me get all this stuff all cleaned up. Peel all the stuff off of the foil, stick it back in the pot, melt all that down, leave it in the pot, and then yeah, we'll jump back into this. Okay, well, to see the final version and what they look like when I light them on fire, click on this video here. To see what they look like in slow motion, click on this link here. Or you can look down in the description, and the URLs to the videos are down there also. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.